let's start probably with Anne. Anne, thank you for being here. What are your experience in this area in the last years, and what has Grassfish done to solve the ideas of the automotive companies?
Yeah, at Grassfish we work at many automotive companies. We work with Porsche, BMW, we work with Volvo, Volkswagen, and of course, we see the digitalization is happening and also the change of the business model, the direct model. So those two combined requires like a different view of the customer journey. And when we look at the solutions for all these, we can see lots of similarities, of course. And when I listen to the Audi presentation, there's many similarities as well. And as you said, the customer journey, that's the key, to focus on the customer journey and take the customer all the way through, own the customer. The brands need to own the customer, both the relationship and the whole customer journey from the first view until you have had the car for 3 years or 4 years, and the whole process, yeah.
Jens, do you think touch and feel is still a point to buy a car, or is it more or less getting a relationship to the brand and at that point being able just to make the decision?
I think touch and feel is still important, and I think not that much has changed actually. The concepts were out there and the requirements by the users have been unchanged to a certain extent. They always wanted to have a seamless customer experience. They want to explore the car, have a good consultancy to make the right decision, and the test drive was always important in the customer journey and to experience the interior and the design. What has changed now, we saw it at Audi, that the companies finally, on one side, feel the pressure and they have to change more drastically, and they now have the technological maturity to sort of finally give this seamless experience. But we also see a shift more to online sales, even with luxury brands, and you need to tackle that. You have to have a better quality of consultancy already online, and then at the right point hand it over to the dealer where you still can, or the agent, where you can still experience the product in the real. I think it's still very important.
So at the end, virtual showrooms, they are just an idea, or do you think that they will be successful on different levels?
First of all, let me thank you all that you came here. And if you need a sauna towel, please go outside, grab your towel, because I mean, this is really hot, and this is also something that is related to the very room. And this is also an experience. We will all remember this event today as being quite a hot one. I mean, Florian made a fantastic debut and ran us into a lot of challenges. A virtual experience is just something that is an extension from a web or mobile instance. And if you ask yourself why you need the car, it's not virtually driving through the web. It's getting from a physical A to a physical B. Mm-hmm. This is a very physical service, a mobility service as such. And there is reason that people want to test drive and they want to experience, because they spend between 80 and 150, or let's say 250 grand for a mobile vehicle that they would use, most of them, for the next few years. And they want to accommodate. No virtual environment will help them in the information process. This is prior to the buying process, which is the one that we reflect on the sales side. But we have the information process. This is very important, and the use of the product afterwards. And that's something still a physical job to do.
So even the virtual showrooms are just one thing. I think also on your opinion that it makes sense to build up a brand experience based on that, but even it's a touch and feel like we had it before. But even getting closer to the people, and that's what was mentioned on your convention just 2 weeks ago from Volkswagen, that the people are not even coming into the store to buy, so that they have to catch up them when they're just passing by for services or something else. Do you also think that the way the showrooms have to be placed is something that has to be changed?
We see a shift going on towards more central places, but or were you asking? Who are you?
I was asking you, sorry.
You were asking me. Yeah.
But you can be on the same one.
Yeah. Yeah, we see the shift, and I think we need both the larger locations and the smaller locations. And yeah, I think the shift is going on towards more city centers, and then the digital space is more important to show more cars where you don't have the physical space. But I think both are needed.
Yeah, I also think, I mean, we work for Mercedes, Smart, and in the past also for Audi and in BMW. They will cut down drastically on the amount of dealerships there. 20% in the next couple of years. They already introduced the agency model. So I think the role of the retail could also change a little bit with regard to either explaining something in detail that you cannot do on the web, or it's a brand experience. Like they will have big AMG centers, for example, but not everywhere anymore. And I think that's a challenge for them, because they need to sort of again shift it more towards also the web channel and be as good selling cars there, which they're not used to, and that's the big challenge. But you also will have to redefine the role of the physical dealership.
So at the end, technical solutions will help being on that way, or it's something that has to be just reduced in the next steps?
Technology, we look at it as a tool. We are experience designer at Experience One, so one definition, our definition, I will talk about it later, is empowering people to do things in a new and better way. If it's with the help of technology, be my guest. If not, sometimes a good talk or sales talk or a consultancy talk is better. Yeah. So it depends.
What do you think about the AR and VR solutions based in dealerships? Are they really successful? Are they just coming up? Or is that something that will be interesting for the future?
Those solutions are coming up for the last 50 years, for the last 200 years, and they will be coming up for the next 500 years, I guess. I wouldn't worry so much about single experience devices or single user experience devices. And I want to catch up with your question earlier on, that we please face the facts. As online sales rise, this means that the budget for the physical instance of consulting, selling, and servicing mobile products will decrease. As you know, in Germany, sales has always been a negative EBIT between 1.5 and 2.5% for the last 20 years. Now 30 up to 50% of sales will move towards the web, which means keeping on with the existing dealerships will double cost and will make it even more profitable. So from that point of view, I wouldn't worry about technology. First of all, we need to worry about the key meaning of the store itself. I mean, dealerships, agent models, this all relates more to a contractual arrangement between the OEM and the retailer himself. But the question is, what is the real meaning of this physical instance? And come on, I mean, what is it? It's a consulting and experience space. It doesn't need to maintain 3,500 square meters. Even so, I mean, it's fantastic for us. I mean, we would do the screens and the integration. You would ship tons of licenses, but I mean, who would pay for that? We don't see that. And so the dramatic change is ahead of us, and this is budget driven. And that's the first question that we have to answer.
I'm 100% aware with you, but I'm really a fan of Link & Co. You probably all know this. I've been probably in 6 stores now, and I got my first car now as well, but as a leasing, not as a leasing car. It's just a rental car. But at the end, they are more or less going to the just community idea and having just one car in a big design room. Did you ever thought about these experience or these ideas as well, Jens?
I mean, there are different concepts. Like also the Audi City store has like what 2-3 models in the car, and of course they don't go so much into community like Lynk & Co. And they also have like fashion items. There's a nice place in Berlin downtown. I get that, but since we look always at the whole customer journey, again, it's one touch point. It can work, and if it fits the brand positioning, I think it wouldn't be the one for Mercedes, for example. They try to be more exclusive, luxurious. If they want to cater to a younger audience, which is more community-driven, then that might be the case to go. Again, I think you need to look at the brand positioning, the customer experience that you want to achieve, and the needs of the customers, and you can come up with various concepts. For me, the Lynk & Co. Showroom was a little bit too little about the car, but that's my.
You really have to search it.
Yeah, it was hidden
even in Barcelona, you have to look for where's really the car.
Could be related to the design, but it's just a
probably. But even there's in every store there's a special room, and I think it's the most Instagrammed car dealership ever. At that point, but even it's not only.
But that's their problem right now, right? Yeah. Because they don't have a brand reputation, so they need to build up awareness and become a legitimate car brand. So that's why I think they focus more on awareness.
Yeah, and coming back to the sales that you said, they also drive in different modules. So you only have a kind of rental idea. You're not buying a car, and even if you're on the website, you're not you're not able to find out quickly how many horsepower the car has. For German, it's just a hard thing, because normally we look for this as the first time. So what do you think about their concept, just to rent the car, not to sell it anymore?
I think we all go back to our pocket money and count. And if we can afford it, I mean, a regular small car is now 60 up to 80,000. I don't know. 60. If it's affordable, I mean, if the deal is cool about the rental stuff, I mean, why not doing it? I mean, people have to check on their account. That's the answer. And if the marketing concept is maintained well, I mean, people will go for that. Even with the battery discussion we have, like exchanging it and having it like NIO did it, and they most recently changed. They offered now selling and buying everything, not only renting it. So that's referring to the market, and so let's wait for the market. Both will work.
We will see. Coming to the point of data and all around that, I also saw on your summit that the big other customer you're also working for, the one with the really fast cars, they are using a lot of data for getting their content up and running and having the right content for that. What is your idea behind this data integration? More or less based on the platform side, or do you think it's more or less just for this kind of dealership, or is data really something that is coming up also in your mind?
Yeah, I think this is where we become more and more important, because we need to be part of the whole ecosystem, the IT infrastructure for their whole business, and also get the data and provide the content based upon the data, both on the customer and on the products. So data is of course key to build the perfect customer journey in the future.
What do you think, how much data is just now influencing the customer journey within the sales process in car dealership or automotive right now? And what would you like to have a number on?
What is data? Like, I think there will be even more touch points and in the future. But I think car companies are really, really bad at data. They have been really bad with data. I mean, that's never was their business model, and we're still talking about like a seamless customer experience. They just are not good at it. So I mean, still the websites are still like content snippets uploaded. They don't have any semantic information. There you go. And then you talk about personalization. They need to fundamentally change this and work with different technology, have a way better access to their own data, and they're not really good at it. So I'm really pleased to see at least some cases, but it's they were never good at it. So I don't know if I need more data from a car manufacturer or more touch points as a customer. I need the right ones, and so far I've not seen them. And we've been talking about personalization for decades now.
Okay.
There's not one personalization use case in the car industry rolled out on the website, none. And I think this is what we need to think about.
Okay.
And change.
Your idea to this?
It's not an idea. It's maybe more like what customers are asking for. The most data-driven sales place that we have is the web and the mobile interface. Everything is measured. When are you using it? For how long? I mean, even the size of the button and the position of the button is determined on a database-driven experience. Have you ever seen that in retail? I mean, ever? At one? I mean, we are basing very CapEx intensive decisions on gut feeling. I mean, gut feeling. I mean, this is the key driver of many designs of the store. How many sensors are installed in a store? More than 1,000? I mean, there should be at least 1,000 sensors to really measure up the entire instance, tell the OEM and tell the dealership networks what in sales is really going on. Are they really selling it? Are they consulting it? Or are they doing after-sales services? Nobody can really derive those data, and even more difficult is the analytics part of that. This is a big issue. From our point of view, the biggest that is coming up.
So I'm 100% aware with what you're all saying. Is it because you probably work for mainly German companies? At the end, is it also a German problem, or is it just a worldwide problem?
I can tell it's not just in Germany.
Okay. So basically, you think also the other companies that work in have the same problem, that they are not dealt with data before, and
it can be improved. Yeah.
So, but probably it's a little bit harder in Germany as well. But
well, I think it has to do with the business model. All the OEMs, they had like the original manufacturer, like also Volvo, they always have like the headquarter, then the country organization, and then the retail organization, and then you have already two breaking points for the data. So that's why Tesla, with no heritage, etc., could like build it from scratch. And I think they're slowly changing it, and that's why also like contractual things are important, like the agent model, because the business model changes for the dealerships. They are not, they only will get the commission, so they need to be much more interested in leads, also online leads, and the relationship management. And they are in competition with all the customers Germany-wide, and before they had their local base maybe. So they have more competition. They need to start earlier and in different channels, and that's a good thing. And they will automatically, with this little change in the contractual basis, they change the business model. They have to use more data, and I think that's a good way.
Okay. Do you also think that way? Because you were coming from budget, sales, and data. What do you think will be really the necessary next step for the industry?
Changing the attitude. If you look on a car, you definitely draw the wrong conclusions, because you have to think about applications, and that the car, I will just delete that word, it's the biggest and most expensive mobile device that you can get. And it's not device driven.
And you're just using it 1 hour a day.
That's something different, but you think about it all day, and about your status. I mean, you're talking about the status often, more often than you use it. But the matter of fact is that we need to look from an application point of view, and I'm looking from a digital application point of view, and that's leading into personalization. This is leading into not only personalized web offerings, but also within the car, within the mobile device, and then things will change. And then you definitely derive way more data. And that's an attitude thing. I mean, all those OEMs who feel this is an application rather than a physical device, I think they will be in a lead position.
So thank you to you all. We were just through the time because Florian was a little bit late, as he used to. Thank you all having you on stage here. It was really interesting discussion. And if there are some questions, we're going to be there later on as well. So thank you everybody being here. And I just look out for the towel outside. Thank you.
Yeah.